Have you ever been so sleep-deprived that you start questioning reality? That was me, living in a tiny cabin on a cruise ship, trapped above a roommate who snored louder than the ship's anchor. She refused to fix it, so I decided to make sure she heard exactly what I did every single night. And when I say it was poetic justice, I mean it. If you've ever wanted justice served with a side of irony, hit that subscribe button and drop a like right now. This isn't just a story about revenge. It is about standing up for yourself when someone refuses to respect your peace. All right, let's set sail. I work on a cruise ship. I am a performer, part of the entertainment staff. And while the job itself is incredible, the living situation? Let's just say it's not glamorous. We're talking tiny rooms, smaller than most people's closets, shared with another person, and stacked bunks. You learn to live with a lot: noise, motion, tight spaces. But what I couldn't live with was my roommate's snoring. At first, I didn't know. We got to choose our roommates, and she seemed great, friendly, clean, easygoing. She never mentioned anything about snoring. But that first night, I thought the ship was breaking apart. I remember lying in my top bunk, lights off, the ocean rocking us gently. Then suddenly, this deep, rumbling growl ripped through the silence. I froze. It wasn't just snoring. It was violent, like a bear choking on a trumpet. I actually sat up because I thought she was having a medical emergency. She'd snore, then choke, gasp, stop breathing for a second, and then start again even louder. I'm talking loud enough to compete with the anchor chains when we dock. The next morning, I looked like I hadn't slept in a week. My eyes were puffy, my brain was mush, and my patience was gone before breakfast. But I tried to be polite. "Hey," I said casually. "You, snore a bit at night. I just wanted to let you know. Maybe we could figure something out." She laughed. Actually laughed. "Oh yeah, I've been told that before," she said. "It doesn't really bother me though." I blinked. "Right. But it's kind of keeping me up." She cut me off. "You'll get used to it. Everyone does." "Everyone does?" "No, sweetheart. Nobody gets used to a human foghorn sleeping 5 feet away." Over the next week, I tried everything. Earplugs? Nope. Over-ear noise-canceling headphones blasting white noise. Could still hear her. Even when the ship docked, anchor grinding metal into the sea, her snoring beat it. Sleep deprivation does weird things to you. You stop thinking straight. You get angry at everything. By day 4, I was running on fumes. I'd start work at 9 a.m., performing, smiling, dancing, while inside I felt like a zombie. And she? She'd wake up refreshed, yawning, stretching, humming in the mirror. The worst part? Every time she snored and choked, I thought she might die in her sleep. That sound of her gasping, it haunted me. So I brought it up again. I told her, "Look, I really need sleep. Could you see a doctor, or maybe try some strips or a machine or something?" She shrugged. "If it's that bad, maybe you should get earplugs." I already had them. She knew that. That was the moment I realized she didn't care. And once you realize someone doesn't care about your comfort or health, something in you changes. You stop asking nicely. You start planning. A few weeks later, I had one of those marathon days. Started at 9 a.m., had back-to-back rehearsals, meet and greets, and late-night performances. By the time I crawled back to my cabin, it was 11 p.m. I had to be up again at 6 a.m. I thought, please, just one night of peace, but no. The moment she hit that pillow, the symphony began. I laid there for hours, staring at the ceiling, heart pounding, eyes burning, rage simmering. Around 3 a.m., I realized I'd gotten maybe 2 hours of sleep. Total. That was it. That was my breaking point. I sat up in bed, phone in hand, and hit record. That night, I recorded her entire performance. The choking, the snorting, the unholy growl, all of it. And as I listened to it the next day during my break, I thought, if she thinks it's not a big deal, maybe she should experience it herself. The next afternoon, I walked into our cabin and found her lying down. She looked at me lazily and said, "I'm going to take a nap." "Oh, sure," I said sweetly. "Go ahead." She rolled over, got comfortable, and within seconds, I could hear her breathing deepen. Perfect timing. I pulled out my phone, scrolled to the recording, and hit play. Her own snoring filled the room, loud, distorted, echoing. She shot up instantly, eyes wide. "What the hell is that?" she snapped. I kept my eyes on my phone, calm as ever. "That's you," I said. "You said it wasn't a big deal, remember? So why should I turn it off?" She stared at me like I'd lost my mind. "Turn it off," she shouted. I just shrugged. "Can't. I'm trying to get used to it." She cursed under her breath, grabbed her stuff, and stormed out. But that was just day one. For the next 3 days, every time she tried to nap or sleep, I played the recording. Not constantly, just enough that every time she closed her eyes, her own snoring filled the room again. She begged, she yelled, she even tried to block the sound with her pillow. But I was relentless. Because if she wasn't going to take my lack of sleep seriously, she was going to hear exactly what she was putting me through. By day 3, I got a message. "Manager wants to see you." Of course. She'd complained. I walked in, ready for battle. But before I could speak, my manager said, "Your roommate says you've been playing loud sounds to bother her. Is that true?" I took a deep breath and explained everything. How she snored like a chainsaw. How I'd begged her to fix it. How I hadn't slept properly in weeks. And then I played the recording. The manager's eyebrows shot up. He listened for a few seconds before turning to me and saying, "That's actually impressive and concerning." Then he called my roommate in. She stood there, arms crossed, glaring at me. My manager sighed. "You know, this could have been avoided if you'd just tried to address your snoring issue. It's not fair to your roommate." Her jaw dropped. She expected him to take her side, but he didn't. In the end, they moved us both into new rooms, with new roommates. Honestly, I didn't even care about the transfer. The best part was that she had to face the fact that she was the problem all along. That first night in my new room, the silence was heavenly. No snoring, no gasping, no rumbling, just the soft hum of the ship. I laid there, smiling in the dark, realizing how good it felt to finally be heard, literally and figuratively. It wasn't just about revenge. It was about fairness, about proving that you can't just dismiss someone's discomfort because it doesn't affect you. And honestly, the poetic justice was perfect. She couldn't sleep because of herself. Sometimes people don't realize how unbearable they are until they're forced to face their own noise. My revenge might have been petty, but it was fair. And on a ship that never stops moving, that silence was the sweetest sound I'd ever heard. If you've ever had a roommate from hell, or someone who just wouldn't listen, hit that like button. Subscribe for more stories where karma comes with surround sound. And tell me in the comments, what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever pulled off? Because sometimes, the quietest victories are the loudest.